Stalin's Last Supper. And the archive shows it was business as usual, the boss humiliating his drunken guests. However, after the guests had left, the night ended oddly. At 6 a.m., a new bodyguard called Krustaliov emerged from Stalin's room. Strangely, he told the other guards that Stalin had issued an order for them to go to bed. One of the other bodyguards later said this had never happened before and that no one but Krustaliov had heard the order. Molotov's grandson believes that Krustaliov may have been acting on Beria's instructions.
The guards around Stalin were not reporting directly to Beria, but many of those people, like Krustaliov, for example, they were former subordinates of Beria, quite close to him. My grandfather did not exclude that Stalin was assassinated, and of course mentioned the name of Beria, who was a clear person who was interested in killing Stalin and who had some people to do that.
So could the new bodyguard, Krustaliov, have been one of Beria's people? Could Krustaliov have poisoned Stalin as he slept? The events of the next few hours only add to the suspicions. "12 hours went by and the boss, a well-known insomniac, did not appear. Until at 6:30 the next evening, his staff finally saw his light go on. But then 3 more hours passed, and still Stalin failed to emerge.
Imagine in this tiny enclosed high-security zone, rising anguish, fear and nervousness. No movement from Stalin. We last saw him turning on the light at 6 p.m. Nothing. For hours afterwards, no movement. The guards become increasingly worried what to do. And later on in the evening, they finally had an excuse to go and see what had happened to Stalin, because the post arrives from the Central Committee. And this means that they have an excuse to go into his apartment.
The archive records that it was not until 10 p.m. that a bodyguard finally went in. He found Stalin lying on the floor in a pool of his own urine. The guards called Beria, who ordered, "Don't tell anybody about Comrade Stalin's illness, and don't call back."
This night is pregnant with rumour. There's a sort of miasma of crisis through which it's very hard to shine a clear light. But what we do know is that at about 3 in the morning, Beria had taken the leadership role and crept into the house to find out what was happening and to look at Comrade Stalin.
The bodyguard who had discovered Stalin remembered Beria entering the room with his chubby sidekick, Malenkov.
What's wrong with the boss? What do you mean by it starting a panic? The boss is obviously sleeping peacefully.